Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. Before I start the video, I do want to say like, subscribe, and comment. If you want to join the Patreon, it's www.patreon.com/but I'm not a trader. The Telegram, for those of you asking, is not free. You have to join the Patreon in order to get access to the Telegram or to the chat. I do recommend it. It's only $10 because I am still debating whether I'm gonna be releasing like the full courses and stuff and everything on my own website. I'm leaning more towards kind of no-ish, yes, yes, no-ish, or no, yes, right? Just because I like having all this to myself, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. But if you want to join the Patreon, it's patreon.com/but I'm not a trader. And if you want access to the chat, it's not free. Like I said, you do need to have the Patreon in order to be part of the chat. All right, so let's get started with the video. Yesterday, I was 50-50. I didn't really know what direction exactly we were headed. And, for good reason, right? Yesterday, we could have really gone either way, and we ended up popping extremely hard to the upside. Let me just go back to a bigger time frame. There you go. So you basically opened yesterday at right here. Actually, let's go a little bit, 30-minute. So you opened yesterday right here, right? So your open yesterday was at 434.1, right? And then you ended up just rallying extremely hard, to the upside. You hit trend, right? You hit trend on mid channel right there, right? And then you dumped back to bottom of trend and just kind of traded sideways. And then right now, pre-market, you are popping off pretty hard, right? So this can be in lieu of news that's happening. I think it's PPI today. So there could be some leakage, and then people are, maybe whoever this is starting to buy extremely hard. For today, I am leaning more towards the bear side, just because we're still on a 4-hour bear. We actually closed the 4-hour bear trigger. And on the 6-hour, is it going to close? Yeah, we're still on a 6-hour bear trigger as well, right? And obviously, this is pushing towards the upside, so this might be a false perfect entry, right? And we might moon to the upside super hard. But so far right now, everything is still showing signs of bear momentum, even though we are pushing extremely hard right now, right? So we'll see what happens. I am personally a little bit more bear today. I'd say more 80-20 than anything else. And that's strictly just because my triggers are more on the bear side, right? So we'll see what happens. As of right now, if I had to do an actual TA on where we are at this very moment, I'd say we're probably going up, right? I mean, and the reason I say that is because, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this alert here because I don't really care. I do have another alert here. This is, I guess to break the lows. I'll leave that. So really what's going on is, essentially just trading sideways, right? You pushed up. You broke this trend here, this trend right there. So you broke up. So structure is broken. I think this happens, and then you do this, right? Logically, that's what's, after you have, a break in structure, logically, that's what's supposed to happen, right? You break here. You can probably go a little bit higher, maybe 437.761. I don't know, somewhere around here. Come back down, retest, and then push up, or you could just push all the way up towards trend. But logically, that's basically what this break of trend is telling me, right? Either you sell this whole thing off, right, and news comes in super bad. If news comes in super bad, then you can really sell off, right? Obviously, you can really sell off extremely hard back down to at least 435, if not lower, possibly to a 434 off of bad news, right? And it all depends on what core. I think it's core PPI today, whatever it's called. I think it's core and PPI. So we'll see what news is, right? But you're already breaking highs. So I mean, as of right now, I'd say I'm more, like I said, I am a little bit more to the bear side, strictly because we're on those bear cycles. But they could just be false triggers because of how bullish we've been lately. For the last, I think 3 trading days, it's been pretty ridiculous how we just keep pumping and pumping and pumping. So logically, this makes sense, right? You already broke structure. I would not be surprised if you just keep pushing towards 439 today, right? Or you retrace a little bit here and then move, right? This is considering no news at all, right? So I guess the real piece of what's important is news, right? So if news in about an hour comes out really bad, you can definitely flush super hard. And by flush, I mean probably back to somewhere around this range today, right? So if news comes out bad, if it's bad for the market, you can probably flush around here. Somewhere around there, right? I'd be pretty surprised if news comes out bad and you do not flush to something around this, like 434, 433, right? I would say the lowest is probably 433 today. That would probably be the lowest that I think you flush to if news is bad, right? But if news is good, you can continue pushing, right? And I don't think 439 will be the top. I actually think maybe something a little bit higher. So let me see if I can do, so let's duplicate this. Run it up. Oops. There we go. So if you actually, break this trend here, let me get rid of this for you guys. Right. So if you actually break this trend here, right? So I should probably have, well, I don't think I need to. I mean, why not, I guess, right? So let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. And then we'll add another one here today, just because. Because this is definitely a possibility, right? Right there, right. We'll add another on that trend, and we will add another alert on this trend as well. So if today's news is really good, I would not be surprised if you just, do something like this, break, come back here, and then you shoot up like that, right? Definitely not be surprised. I think we would top at like a 441, right? Somewhere in this range, like 440, 441. That's what would be the top right here. If you do keep breaking from this and you have good news, right? So if good news, the highest that I could probably see is 440, 441, which is that mid trend right there, right? Or if that breaks, same structure, breaks, retest, push. Break, retest, and then it'll push probably to like a 442, 443. But I think the highest that we could see right now is 440, 441, which is that mid channel right there on SPX. But again, structure already broke. Unless you give up this whole candle to the low side, right, you're probably going to keep pushing up, right? And that's just all, TA based structure, right? That's really it. So, if this whole move goes, if you give up this whole candle here, then I definitely think you're coming back to these lows, right? If you give up this whole candle and then you start going bear, you can probably come back all the way down here, which gives you more chance of coming back down to 434. But again, today is very news heavy. We'll see what happens. We'll see what direction we can go. I'm personally a little bit more biased to the bear side because those triggers are bearish on the higher time frames, right? You are bearish. Right, you are bearish on the 4 hour. Technically, you've hit those triggers recently, right? Like back here on Friday, then again on Sunday, and then again on today, right? Or Tuesday a little bit earlier yesterday, right? So you have been, not really listening to the 4 hour triggers. So that's why, it's a little bit more concerning that it's a little bit more bullish that you keep pushing up like this. But then when you start closing, the 6 hour is already bearish, right? And then the 8 hours it's going to be bearish soon, right? So when you start closing these bigger triggers, then it's time to really kind of look at it a little bit, right? But we'll see what happens. See, you're already breaking that. I'm pretty sure you broke the high. So 437.2, 121. Nope. High hasn't broken. I would not be surprised if you break the high like right now, right? I think you're probably going to push, right? Because you already wicked all the way down. So we'll see. We'll see where we go. If this pushes, then I'll get alerted. Let me see, 427. It wants to break, right? It wants to break that high. 427. 22. Let's do that. We'll add a trigger there. So if it breaks, right, I'll get notified right away. And if that breaks, if that high breaks, there's really a high chance you'll go to 438, right? Because you already broke structure. Or maybe just like I said, pump, come back down, push, right? So as far as overall trend, I am starting to get a little bit more bearish. So I'd say I'm 80-20 today on the bear side, towards the bear side, right? But again, very news heavy. We'll see what happens today. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.